I'm here with 11 head football coach Mike Hathaway. Coach, nice way to end the season against Gardner.
Absolutely. Any win against Gardner is a good win. That's a tough, tough team, football town, and you go up into Gardner and get one. You got to feel good about it. So,
I said, I think I told you that the last time we were talking. My family's all from there. That's
Right.
where I was born. And you go, my Uncle Rosie's still going. He's 90 years old.
yeah, there's a lot of guys sitting on the fence at Gardner that are there every year, and one of the cool things that that happens really every year we play them. If you kind of go back in time a little bit to kind of the 08, 09, 07, that was kind of when Gardner first moved down to B, and us and Gardner we were the top of the league really at that time. It was a pretty good back and forth for 3 or 4 years, and there's a guy who was on the chain gang for Gardner at the time, older gentleman. We call him Big Red because he always gave all the coaches a stick of Big Red gum. So when we came into the field, walking down the other night, he was waiting on the corner. He wasn't doing the chains, but he was waiting on the corner in a truck and gave us all a piece of gum on the way through. So, stuff like that you see at some of these places you get to go a lot. Those things are cool that you remember. So.
No, they really are. There's people in town that it means a lot to them.
Yeah.
And, sports is an escape.
Yep,
nice thing
absolutely.
To do. Any kids that played particularly well against Gardner?
Yeah, one thing is we play great defense. The whole defense played well. We've had, like everybody else, we're battling a few injuries, and we had some guys that were out or one-way guys. So, we had sophomore Isaiah Bain started at nose tackle for us and played, just absolutely lights out. Cole Melanson, we've worked him, he's normally our nose. We've worked him a little bit at linebacker, so because we thought Gardner was going to run a lot of power I, we kind of had a heavier set in there with him at backer and Bain at nose, and that was pretty good. So defensively, we're real pleased. They threw quite a bit at Deshaun Calder, and Deshaun, turned everything away. He had a tremendous game in the secondary against the pass. Cam Jordan had, I think, 3 sacks. He was all over the quarterback all game. He was all over the field. So a good effort on that side of the ball. Deshaun also slid in a tailback this week a little bit. We needed a little bit more depth there. And so he got a few carries out of that spot, ran the ball pretty well there too, so a good game for him. Offensively, we kind of struggled to run the ball a little bit. The wet track wasn't necessarily great for running up the middle, especially when you're in the middle of the field, and Gardner's defense isn't great for running up the middle either because they're good. Appleby 88, the DT in there, and 34 Spencer, those guys are tough guys. They gave us a hard time inside, and then Mayhew out on the edge was a little bit of a problem, but I thought we did a pretty good job with him. But we really had to throw the ball probably more than we anticipated on the wet field. Wyatt had a great game. He threw for 200 in the first half. I think in the first half he was 12 for 16 or something like that. He actually threw 3 touchdown passes on the first drive because we had 2 called back. But he, probably his best game of the year, to be honest. He, really did a nice job both in and out of the pocket, made some great throws. Damian Calder caught 2 touchdown passes, ran for another one. And then, offensively in the second half, we kind of ran the ball a little bit more and we huddled more than we normally do and tried to kind of grind the clock and get the game over with because we were up 4 scores. So, the O-line did a better job in the fourth quarter. We figured out a couple things and a couple plays that we had that were nice. So, we're pretty pleased. Both sides of the ball, things we can do better, but, a lot of things that went well. So,
do your kids treat the playoffs different than the regular season? Is there an attitude difference there? What's it look like?
Yeah, I don't think so. Not a ton. To me, if you have to turn it up for the playoffs, then, what have you really been doing the whole year? I don't think. I know from my perspective, I don't think there's a week when I could watch more film than I do, or prep harder for practice than I do, or whatever. So and I think the kids are the same way. They're going to watch the same amount of film all week as they have. They're going to practice with the same focus as they have all week. I think what you see is on game day, the concentration level is just at a little bit of and the intensity level is a little bit of a higher mark than it is in the regular season. The kids are a little more keyed up. Sometimes it leads to more mistakes, honestly, early in the game. Sure. So I think getting our kids to relax and just really concentrate on playing good football and having good technique, that's what we're trying to do. But our week of practice really hasn't looked any different. We're doing the same things.
So game the end of the week, do you still do the same, if you have a breakfast? I don't know if you do or not, but do you do the same things that you do in the
Yeah,
regular
we have a
season?
team dinner every Thursday night, so we'll have that again tonight. Tonight here, actually, it's Harvest Supper night here tonight. So the whole community's out, and the team goes to the dinner, and it's kind of a nice event here at Levitt, big fundraiser for our project grads. So we'll still do that, and we're still going on, and we're just going on like it's a regular week, really.
Tell me about Lake Region. What do you see from them?
Yeah, they had a big win against Shakopee a couple weeks ago where they put up a lot of points. They played Freiburg last week, and Freiburg's a pretty good team and got after them pretty good. But you go back a couple weeks ago, they played Yarmouth pretty tough, and Yarmouth's a team that's come on pretty good here at the end. Should have beat Cape really last week. Cape made a great play at the end of the game to win it, but that was certainly anybody's game. So. The quarterback is, shifty. He can run. He can throw. He's kind of like White. He's a smaller kid, but he's got a pretty big arm. He can get the ball down the field a little bit. And they have a couple of athletic receivers as well. So they really try to spread you out. A lot of 4 wide, a lot of trips. A lot of quarterback runs. Some 3-step throws, and then some 4 verts and things like that. So we're trying to get our secondary ready. And get some of our our blitz package ready to put some pressure on those guys and do that. And then defensively, they're in 4-3. They fly around pretty good. They blitz a lot. They get a couple of big DTs inside. So we'll see what they can give us on Friday.
You're used to being near the top, and a lot of times, especially the opening round like this one, you play a team that there's a reason they're 8th.
Right.
Do you do any short-term goals during the game to make sure your team focuses? Because no matter what we say, the kids look at the paper and they look at the heel points and they know.
Yeah, no, we were real honest with our kids on Monday when we watched the film. They're going to watch the film too, and we know where they are. We know that we should win. That's the expectation when you're the 1 seed and you're playing the 8 seed. But we've got some goals there that we want to accomplish. But one of our goals every time is to start fast. We plan to come out and do some things that we've normally done every game to make that happen. But I think that's a big thing. When you're the favorite, the longer you let the other team hang around, that's when things start to get a little dicey. And we've been through that before. So, we reminded the kids in 2012, we beat Belfast in the regular season 42-0, and we played them in the playoffs and they beat us 21-20 right here. So, that was a 2-7 game. So, those things happen, and they happen if you don't prepare well and if you're not ready on game days. So, we tell our kids all the time too. It really doesn't matter who's in the other locker room. If it's a game and it's a playoff game, you're playing to win. Like if you don't win, you're packing your stuff up. So, we don't want to be that team doing that. So we're pretty focused on those guys.
Well, I know last time we talked, you talked about seniors, letting them know, hey guys, we're on a countdown here. Every one of these could be the last one.
Yeah, we talked a little bit, last week about how things have an expiration date, and that was like you look in the fridge and you look at the milk and there's an expiration date there. Well, it's the same thing in your high school football career, and when you get close to the end of it, those seniors that they're real focused and they want it, and you want to make sure that the other kids realize how important it is to those kids. And quite honestly, some of the most upset kids I've seen at the end of seasons are kids who aren't necessarily seniors, but they cared so much about their senior teammates, they didn't want to see them leave on a loss.
Sure.
And, we've got some kids that are like that. Our kids care a lot about each other. They spend a lot of time together. They work out a lot together. Certainly the guys who are coming back, I think they know that we've got a good future, but I don't think any of them are looking ahead. I think they all want to see the 7 seniors that we have walk out of here with a championship.
Oh, only 7. Yeah, it's my one thing that I don't like about a tournament is there's only one team that wins at the end, and everybody else goes home a loser.
Yep.
And sometimes if you have that team that starts slowly and they end up not making the playoffs, but they won their last 5 games, they end up feeling like they're on top of the world.
Right. Yep. And I think a lot of things too. You get into the playoffs and the hot team is. That's hard to stop, and I don't think Freiburg's lost since week 1. So, there's a hot team there. Yarmouth has really come on as of late. Cape's had a better record in the second half of the season. Gardner, if they can figure out some things offensively, their defense has been hot lately and playing much better. So
It's going to be a good division, isn't
I
it?
think so. I mean, I think a lot of people are, saying it, it might go as it should or whatever, but I've seen plenty of playoffs where everybody says that and it doesn't. So I remember one year we were in the North and the Final Four, I think Waterville was the top seed left and they were like the 4 seed and they ended up hosting the Northern Maine Championships. So, you never know how things are going to go. So you gotta put your work in.
Well, Coach, thanks. Good
Hey,
luck.
I got to mention one other thing. We've been doing this every week, and I told my kickoff team that I would give them some love this week. Our kickoff team has been absolutely amazing all year. Kickoffs, if you've watched Levitt football for a long time, have been a problem here. We traditionally have not had a great kicker. We've had a couple of good ones, but traditionally have not been real good there. Stephen Gray has been phenomenal as a kickoff guy for us, and most years this doesn't happen. We've pretty much had the same 10 cover guys all season. Oren Shaw, Keegan Melanson, Mark Herman, Rufino Driscoll, Ashton Gray, Bradley Moreau, Logan Gerard, Garrett J. Bush, Deshaun Calder, Damian Calder. Eddie Kern's been in there a little bit too. He was a guy that was back and forth, and Jaden Banks, a freshman, helps us out a little bit there. He's the other sub. But that's, special teams is important going into the playoffs, and those guys have been great all year, so I wanted to give them a shout out there.
Great. All right, Coach.
All right,
Good
thanks,
luck.
sir.
I hope to see you next week.
Sounds good.
And we welcome you in on the video feed if you're watching MBR.org on their Facebook page as well. It's streaming on YouTube. It's all over the place. The video feed as well. Welcome you in on that. You just heard an interview, I believe, with Mark Soren there and during the pregame. And now you're live listening to the Vikings and Chevreuils about ready to get this one started right now. It's a coin toss at midfield with the captains out there. The captains for Chevreuils are Tegan Lindstedt and Vic Marone, Cam Slicer, Parker LaFrance, Colton Carson, Austin Dowdy, the captains for Oxford Hills. And this will determine, of course, who gets the ball to start the game. Chevreuils will call it, and then if they win it, they'll have a chance to decide if they want to defer or if they want to receive to start this one. So looks like the Vikings, I believe, won the toss. Let's see here. The Vikings did win the toss, and they elect to receive. So Oxford Hills wins the toss, and they want the ball off the bat.
They want to score early.
So the Vikings will take the ball first. Vic Marone was the captain out there for Chevreuils. 13 catches this year, 325 yards, 6 touchdowns. So if they do throw, it'll be the number 12 in white. Chevreuils with their white uniforms and gold helmets out there on the field. The Vikings in their green uniforms and gold helmets with white numerals. The quarterback for Chevreuils is Mark Reale, number 6. He does not actually run it very much. When he does throw, he completed 26 of 80 passes, and we'll compare that to what Colton Carson did. He completed 62 of 130 passes. So you can see the difference in terms of attempts alone in terms of the styles of offense. Reale threw for 593 yards. Carson threw for 1,047 yards. However, both these guys were pretty decent with the football. 8 touchdown passes for Carson, only 6 interceptions, and 8 touchdown passes for Reale, only 7 interceptions. So they both threw more touchdowns than interceptions, which is not something you can say for a lot of quarterbacks in Maine. So that's pretty impressive for both teams. Tegan Lindstedt, their fullback, will run it a lot. Kira Orium's a playmaker for them as well. And, of course, we cannot forget about Sean Tompkins, who had 11 rushing touchdowns this year. He also had 5 catches for 117 yards and touchdown number 82 for Chevreuils. So those are some key players you'll see when Chevreuils has the ball. However, Oxford Hills is going to start this game with the ball as the opening kickoff. Here we go. Far side of the field, it's Michael Bonang at the 20. 25, Bonang cuts it back 30, through the defense 35. Out across to the 37-yard line. Michael Bonang, solid return. Vikings football, 1st and 10 to start this ball game. Colton Carson in the offense, the spread attack. I know, Tasker, you like the old-fashioned I formation, but the spread's been working this year, certainly for Oxford Hills.
Yep. My junior year, we ran mostly I formation. My senior year, we spread it out with Colton playing quarterback, and I have to say I like the old-style smash-mouth football a little bit more.
Carson can run it. He has 16 rushing touchdowns, the most in Class A North. 1st and 10 to get this one started. LaFrance in the backfield. Carson will run near side. He gets to the 40 and almost had a big gain, but a nice tackle that time. Ankle tackle made by Caleb Carter, a senior linebacker who had 10.5 tackles during the regular season. Still a solid gain out to the 44 for Colton Carson. 7-yard run. It'll be 2nd and 3 for Oxford Hills. Turner on the far side. Slot to the left is Michael Bonang. LaFrance in the backfield. Let's see. Carson at quarterback, and LaFrance to his right. On 2nd and 3, they put Bonang in motion. Carson to run it behind the blocking from LaFrance out across the 45. Falls forward, and he's close to a first down in the middle of that pile.
For his body type, it wouldn't look like he'd be very slippery, but he is. It's very deceiving, and I think it could be just defenders getting confused by the massive flailing limbs.
It's enough for a first down, yes, for 6'5" Colton Carson. Right at the 48-yard line of Oxford Hills. 3 wide receivers. Lutska now slot to the left. Lutska goes in motion. Yannick Lutska, one of their key players in all aspects of the game. Carson faked it to him, tried to keep it himself, and had nowhere to go. Good pursuit that time by the Cheverus defense. A couple guys are in on that stop. It looked like certainly Giovanni Fornaro along with Teddy Michaud were in on that one. Actually, we have number 87 who was in on that, who I don't have a name for, unfortunately, for Cheverus. But no gain, nonetheless, on the play for Oxford Hills. Oh, check that. That's Gavin Callahan. He's got 2 numbers he uses.
Oh, yeah.
Gavin Callahan, one of their better players, in on that stop. So anyway, Lutska in motion. They fake it to him, and now Carson in trouble. Escapes one defender, escapes another. Now looks to get some positive yards out of this. The midfield edge of the 45 of Cheverus before he's tripped up. Heck of a play by Colton Carson.
Wow, I do not know how he got out of that.
He was in some big trouble in the backfield before he escaped and got very good yardage out of it. It's going to be 3rd down and short in Cheverus territory at the 45-yard line. He'll need about 3 here for a first down.
My jaw actually dropped watching that.
He turned what could have been like a 10-yard loss into a 7-yard gain.
Yeah.
Escaped one tackle and then just got some momentum going. LaFrance in the backfield on 3rd down. They give it to Parker LaFrance up the gut, and LaFrance falls forward for the first down. Vikings move the chains again. 9:31 to go in the first quarter, just underway here in the regional semifinal. The winner will play Portland at Fitzpatrick Stadium on November 9th, unless they move it. As Emerson Brown will check in. He's missed most of the season with a nagging hip injury, but he's back. Brown, one of their running backs, he and LaFrance. 3 wide receivers, Lutska in the slot to the left. On 1st and 10 from the Cheverus 41. Lutska goes in motion, and they hand it to Emerson Brown, and that time he is met and dropped in the backfield. First man there, Gavin Callahan, and then the cavalry came for Cheverus.
What they did there was they sent a man in motion to, use some misdirection and then counter it back the other way. But the defensive end did a good job of staying home and not letting that get outside of him.
Gavin Callahan, heck of a player. He's only a sophomore. He had 7 sacks during the regular season, 31.5 tackles overall. He's one of their key players on defense at that end spot, as you mentioned. So Brown lost 4 yards on the play, 2nd and 14 from the 45 of Cheverus for the Vikings. 4 wide receivers on 2nd down. Carson back to pass, rolls to his right, in trouble, and this time he will able to throw it away, I believe. He was in the arms of Caleb Carter, a senior linebacker, and was somehow able to throw that away for an incomplete pass, and it'll bring up 3rd and long.
He does a great job of getting rid of the ball when he knows he's under pressure like that. He'll try a little bit to squeeze by, but when he knows he's going to go down, he can get rid of it.
Carter had him wrapped up, but Colton Carson, showing off that strength, throws it away. So it's 3rd and 14, still a tough down and distance, but it could have been a lot worse for Oxford Hills. We've seen them convert 3rd and longs before. Trips to the right here on 3rd down. Brown in the backfield, 4 wide receivers. 3rd and long from the Cheverus 45.
Oh.
And they got someone to jump, and it might have been a Stag. We'll see. It's from the near side. Dead ball, encroachment on Cheverus. So it'll be 3rd and 9 now from the 40 of the Stags. Much more manageable. Good hard count that time by Colton Carson.
Yep.
As our screen did go black here for a moment on the video, so we'll try to describe it as best we can. Now it's back.
And it's gone.
It's flashing back and forth. We got a cable that's a little bit finicky, so we'll just keep an eye on that. We'll describe it as best we can. Won't impact the audio. 4 wide receivers on 3rd and 9. Carson takes a snap. He'll run it. Trying to get out of the grasp of the defender, and he falls forward to the 35. He's going to be shy of the first down. He's still got 4 yards out of it, and now it's a 4th down situation where it is 4th and manageable if they want to go for it.
I'd say they're probably going to go for it here.
He was able to escape and get to the 35-yard line of Cheverus, did Colton Carson. 7:27 to go in the first quarter in what is a scoreless game for now. It's 4th down and 4 from the Cheverus 35 for Oxford Hills. The running back is Parker LaFrance. He's got trips to the left, 4 wide receivers. Carson on design run. And pretty good pursuit by that Cheverus defense, and they're going to stop him, I believe, short of the first down marker. Heck of a job that time. First man there was Tim O'Brien, a junior linebacker, but multiple Stags were in on the stop. It will be a turnover on downs, and Cheverus takes over. So if you're the Stags, certainly an underdog in this game. They're 7-2 on the year, including the playoff win over Bangor, but their 2 losses were by a sizable amount. They lost 37-7 to Portland, and they lost 42-14 to these Vikings. Meanwhile, Oxford Hills, their losses were a road loss to Sanford, and then they also lost, of course, to Portland right here at the Goyne Athletic Complex. All right, here comes this Cheverus offense for the first time today. They love to run it all day, every day from under center, and they hand it off here, and they don't get much on first down. It'll be 2nd down and about 7 to go. He did get about 3 yards, so 2nd and 7 here for Cheverus. I saw Marone getting up, but he normally does not run the ball, so in any case, that run did
like
not.
33.
That would make sense. That's Graydon Lindstedt. He is a sophomore. Tegan Lindstedt, number 36, is their workhorse. All right, the handoff is to Lindstedt. That's Graydon Lindstedt, and he is surrounded and dropped at the 40-yard line, dragging him down. David Dingley, a number of other Vikings in there as well. You'll probably hear the name Cole Dunham a lot. 43, he's the leading tackler in all of Class A North, and Cade Truman also having a great year for Oxford Hills, number 32. Those are their 2 leading tacklers, not only for the team, but in the entire Class A North this season. Yannick Lutzka also gets in there. He's 4th in the league. All right, so it's going to be 3rd down and 3 for Cheverus from the 40. Reale will pitch it, and the back falls over in the backfield. He pitched it to Tompkins, and Tompkins just slipped and fell. And that'll bring up 4th down, and the Stags will probably punt here.
Looked like they had him either way, whether he slipped or not. They put a lot of pressure, brought a blitz, and I think they would have had him in the backfield either way.
Tompkins handles the punting for the Stags. He does a lot for them. A junior will catch the ball and run the ball, but he fell there. Bonang back deep for the Vikings. A little bit of a high snap. Tompkins handles it. High kick. It'll be a fair catch for Bonang, and he makes it. It was a little tricky, but he dives and makes it at about the 33-yard line. So, a 4th down for the Vikings. They were not able to convert, but they force a 3 and out. And now Oxford Hills gets the ball back after the punt. 5:08 to go, first quarter. No score. Both teams have had the ball once in this one. Oxford Hills was moving the football pretty well. Cheverus, though, showed the ability to get some pressure on Colton Carson, certainly. LaFrance to the right in the backfield, 3 wides on 1st and 10. Carson takes a snap, looks left, fires, nice route. Yannick Lutzka makes the catch at the near hash of the 40 and drags a couple tacklers to the 42-yard line. It took both of Anthony Pacitti and Tim O'Brien to bring down Yannick Lutzka. He's near a first down.
They love to run that quick out route to Yannick because it's pretty much a guaranteed 3, 4, 5 yards and very low risk, high reward because you're throwing it outside. Either he's going to catch it or no one is.
They do say first down. They won't even measure. So Lucas gets the 10 yards he needs, and the Vikings move the chains on a 10-yard completion from Carson to Yannick Lutska, who is their leading receiver on the season. 17 catches entering this game for 284 yards and 3 touchdowns. 3 wide receivers on 1st and 10 now. Handoff up the middle, Emerson Brown showing some burst, and he gets it out to the 49-yard line. So right by midfield, Brown, some positive yards that time, right up the gut, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 4 after a 6-yard run. LaFrance now checks back in. Parker LaFrance has been an impact player here on defense since he was a sophomore, and he's really upped his offensive game this season. 3 wide receivers with LaFrance to the right of Carson in the gun on 2nd down from the 49. Lutska goes in motion, and they'll hand it off on the sweep. Yannick Lutska to midfield. Yannick Lutska through some Cheverus defenders. He's to the 30. 25-20 down the far sideline, 15, and out of bounds at the 10-yard line. A huge run on the sweep for Yannick Lutska. It'll be 1st down. And possibly goal to go, depending on where they spot it for Oxford Hills.
Looks like it's right at the 10-yard line. Maybe just inside.
Yannick Lutska, the first big play of this game for either team. It is 1st and goal. Inside the 10-yard line with 3:58 to go in the 1st quarter. Lutska turning on the Jets that time. Through multiple defenders. LaFrance in the backfield. Carson in the gun on 1st and goal from it, just inside the 10. Bonang in motion. Carson will keep it. Colton Carson up the middle, dragging tacklers inside the 5-yard line to bring up 2nd and goal. Colton Carson, 16 rushing touchdowns this year, but he also passed for 8 touchdowns this season. So that's 24 total touchdowns if you're keeping track. And he was the Class A North Player of the Year for that very reason. 2nd and goal from the 5. The back is Emerson Brown. They give it to Brown. Brown diving forward for the end zone. Emerson Brown is in. Touchdown, Oxford Hills. A 5-yard plunge from Brown. And the Vikings lead 6-0 with 3:13 to go in the 1st quarter. For Emerson Brown, that's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season. And Yannick Lutska is on for the extra point. Here's the snap. Not quite yet, though.
Jumped the gun on that
There's a little hesitation. Now they snap it. Lutska's kick is up. And it is good with 3:13 to go in the 1st quarter. The score, Oxford Hills 7, Cheverus nothing. We'll take a quick break, 30 seconds here on MBR and 96.9 Ox Country.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated.
The week on the video side of things, welcome back in as well. The MBR game of the week. And video feed at mbr.org. We're live on 96.9 Ox Country, and it's 7-0 Oxford Hills over Cheverus here in the Class A North semifinal. 3:13 to go in the 1st quarter. Vikings just score on an Emerson Brown 5-yard touchdown run. They boot it away. Here's the return for the Stags out to the 20, and diving forward to the 25-yard line goes Orion Giebord. He has 6 kick returns entering this game. He's a freshman on the return for Cheverus, and they'll get it 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The Stags, again, went 6-2 during the regular season. They're now 7-2 after their playoff win over Bangor. They were 3rd, but they were kind of a distant 3rd in Class A North. It seems the cream of the crop all year. Portland, Oxford Hills, and if the Vikings can avoid an upset here, they would have a date with Portland, of course, in a week, and a big rematch there, certainly. But they still have a lot of football left in this one. The handoff goes absolutely nowhere that time. That was some great pursuit by number 56 in green, David Dingley, all over it. Ian Trafford, their tailback, a junior, 6 rushing touchdowns this year, 455 rushing yards. That time, though, he lost 1. 2nd and 11 coming up. Dingley's been all over the place so far for the Vikings.
This linebacking core for Oxford Hills is great. Probably one of the best I've ever seen go through here. And they, how many in all conference? Cole Dunham was all conference. Parker was all conference.
All I know is that the
Yannick
Oxford Hills
was all conference.
The Twitter account was just tweeting out a bunch of all conferences the other day, like nonstop. Here's a rare throw, and the pass is complete on the far side by Reale, and it's a nice completion down the far sideline to midfield. Goes Akira Orium, who had 6 catches for 132 yards during the regular season. He's a big-time playmaker on defense for them. Nice little design, and he gets it out to midfield before he's forced out of bounds, and a first down for the Stags. Orium is senior. On defense, had 6 interceptions this season and a fumble recovery. On offense, he had 6 catches during the regular season. Doesn't count the playoff game against Bangor, but he is one of their targets. He's on the near side here on 1st and 10 from midfield. Reale, good little pitch and catch that time, under center as usual. Takes a snap. They run it right up the gut. And fighting for yards is the back before he's finally driven back. That was some tough running. He got it out to the 45, down to the 44.
Good gang tackling.
Yeah, it took a bunch of Vikings. That was Lindstedt again. They're mixing up with Graydon Lindstedt, number 33, a sophomore, who's one of their starters on both sides of the ball. But Tegan Lindstedt's normally the headliner, number 36. But Graydon's back there again.
That was a false start.
Reale hands it off to him, and Graydon Lindstedt falls forward for a first down.
The refs missed a pretty obvious false start there.
Trying to get that early on the run blocking.
Yeah.
He's close to a first down. I don't know if he got there. He's at the 41 of Oxford Hills. They're saying 3rd down here. So Mark Reale, a junior quarterback, kind of the game manager of this team, already has 1 pass completion though. And Lindstedt right behind him here, under center, Reale. There goes Lindstedt again, off left tackle this time, and he's tackled by Cole Dunham, but not before he gets down to the Oxford Hills 36-yard line, and that is Graydon Lindstedt. It is not Tegan. Graydon Lindstedt, number 33, a sophomore. Not the headliner normally for the Cheverus team, but he moves the chains there. Ball's at the Oxford Hills 36-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for Cheverus. 41 seconds left in the first quarter. Vikings lead 7-0. Graydon Lindstedt again, the back. Oh, Reale fumbles it. The ball kicks away, and somehow Lindstedt's able to pick it up. The ball fell forward, and Lindstedt's going to get positive yards out of this inside the 38, inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line.
They just missed another the false start. The tight end was almost in the 2nd level by the time the ball was snapped on that, getting a little bit of a head start on his route.
That ball got kicked forward on the ground, and just a heads-up play by Graydon Lindstedt to pick it up, and they ended up gaining 8 yards out of it. 5 seconds left in the quarter. See if they get a playoff here. Ian Trafford back there in the backfield also, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter of action. So Cheverus is driving, but at the end of the first quarter, the score, Oxford Hills 7, Cheverus nothing. We'll take a quick 1-minute break and back in a moment here on MBR and 96.9 Ox Country.
Hi, Eric Brakey, running for U.S. Senate. I approve this message, and unlike my opponent, I don't have $5 million, so I'm going to have to talk fast. This is New Gloucester, where my family goes back 5 generations. This is my family business where we help people save money. In Augusta, I cut taxes and reformed welfare. We got to get Washington off our backs and create some more good-paying jobs. Keep our kids here in Maine. Fix health care. Local control.
Eric won't slow down, and he'll never stop fighting for Maine. Vote Eric Brakey November 6th.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. On the video side of the ledger, it's the MBR Game of the Week between Oxford Hills and Cheverus. On the radio side of things, this is the CMCC and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 Ox Country. It is the Class A North Regional Semifinals between Cheverus and Oxford Hills. The Vikings have a 7-0 lead as the second quarter about to get underway. Cheverus is driving. They have it 2nd and 2 at the Oxford Hills 28-yard line. Reale, I formation this time for Cheverus. Fullback, Graydon Lindstedt up the middle, and he falls forward to the 25-yard line. A 3-yard gain will be enough to move the chains there for Graydon Lindstedt. Well, Graydon Lindstedt, I didn't even mark down his stats. I knew he'd play. I was expecting to see Teagan out there more often. But right now, it's been Graydon. He is moving the chains, number 33 in white. I formation again here from Cheverus. 1st and 10 from the Viking 29-yard line. The tailback is Trafford. And this time they'll try to throw it. Reale under pressure just throws it away. Good pressure that time by the Viking defense. As getting in there, I believe, was Cade Truman.
I think it was.
Yeah, Truman was all over Reale, who had to throw it away. Brings up 2nd and 10. 11:32 to go, second quarter of action. The score right now, Oxford Hills 7, Cheverus nothing. Emerson Brown, a 5-yard touchdown run. The big play, though, was a jet sweep from Yannick Lutska that got them all the way inside the 10. And then they punched it in 2 plays later. Reale has Graydon Lindstedt as the lone back this time. Under center, Reale looking to pass. His pass is complete on the far side, and then good job by Michael Bonang to drive Orium back. But Orium didn't make the catch, and at the 20-yard line exactly is where they'll spot the ball. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 5 yards to go for the Stags. So they've connected with Orium twice. The tight end, who you mentioned has been false starting a bit, but they haven't called it yet, Vic Marone, is also a big target if they go to him. Orium lines up on the near side this time on 3rd down and 5, I formation for the Stags. Reale under center. Mark Reale takes a snap. Oh, a little misdirection to Tompkins, and Tompkins is swarmed by the Vikings. They were all over it. J.J. Worcester leading the charge that time for Oxford Hills. Brings up 4th down. Little misdirection with Tompkins. And he had nowhere to go. No gain on the play. So on 4th down, they actually might have lost some yards there. A timeout's called by Cheverus to talk about what they want to do on 4th down and 7 with 10:23 to go in the second quarter. Quick 30-second break here on Ox Country and MBR.org.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. On the video side of the ledger, it's the MBR Game of the Week. And on the radio side of things, this is the CMCC and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 Ox Country. The score right now, Oxford Hills 7, Cheverus nothing in the Class A North semifinal matchup. The Vikings, well, they've made one appearance in the state title game. It was in 1999, and they would love to get back here in 2018. And this has been the team that can possibly do it. Cheverus on 4th down, going to go for it. We have a whistle, and they might have called a false start. That's what Yannick Lutska seems to think. And that's what we're going to get, I believe.
Maybe somebody said something to him about it.
Keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
Refs will talk things over. This is an awkward situation for Cheverus because now it's going to be 4th and very long, especially for a team that doesn't like to throw it if they can avoid it. Ball back at the 25-yard line. And it's 4th down and about 12 yards to go now for the Stags. So what do you do here when you're a running team, right? It's tricky.
Yeah.
Here we go.
They've got trips to the left.
Yeah. 4th down. Reale throws it the other way to the right. A little misdirection on the pass down the far side, and they're not going to get the first down. It was not a bad play by any means. Pretty well designed. He completed the pass to Vic Marone, the tight end, but Marone just couldn't get to the sticks, and the Vikings take over on downs. 1st and 10, Oxford Hills.
Last year, last game of the season, when they came here for our senior night, they ran. They were down by 1 score. It was like 2 minutes left. They got the ball back, and they just kept running those misdirection screens.
Yeah.
And they made it pretty much all the way down the field, and Jordan Silver batted one down in the end zone as the clock expired. So
dramatic win.
That win, yeah.
Carson takes a snap on 1st and 10, throws far side. Ball got tipped, incomplete, in the direction of Johnny Pruitt. Brings up 2nd and 10. 10:09 to go in the half. The score right now, Oxford Hills 7, Cheverus nothing. Emerson Brown, a 5-yard touchdown run. That's the lone score for either team in this game, as Brown will check in here. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Vikings have it at their own 18-yard line. Lutzke in the slot to the right. 3 wides. Emerson Brown up the middle on the handoff. Stays on his feet and finally brought down by Pacitti, but he broke through a couple tackles and got some nice yardage out of it. Out across the 20, about the 22-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd down, about 6.
That was the incredible balance that I always talk about with him. He could have easily just fallen down there, but he kept his feet and gained another 3 or 4 yards.
3rd and 6 for Oxford Hills from their own 22-yard line. This time LaFrance in the backfield with Carson. 4 wide receivers. Takes a snap. Back to pass in the pocket. Fires incomplete. Was in the general direction of Lutzke. Pruitt ended up being closer to it after it went past Lutzke, but in any case, there was a 95-mile-per-hour fastball that falls incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. I think he was looking for Lutzke there. And
yeah.
A little bit too far out in front of him.
Too far out in front of him and a little bit too far behind Pruitt.
So, a rare punt for this explosive Oxford Hills offense. And Lutzke does handle the punting. A little shenanigans here with 3 guys going out in motion. See if they see anything here. Lutzke will punt it away, and he just went off the side of his foot and out of bounds. So it's going to be good field position for Cheverus with 9:23 to go in the half. Right now, Cheverus trails 7-0, but the Stags, depending on where they spot, it looks like they'll have it 1st and 10 at the Oxford Hills, about the 42-yard line here. So good field position for this Cheverus team. They trail the Vikings 7-0. Emerson Brown has a 5-yard touchdown run in this contest. So Mark Reale and his crew back out there. Tompkins split wide to the right. I formation, though. Reale under center. Takes a snap. Fullback handoff. It's Lindstedt up the middle, and he'll fall forward to the 40-yard line. 2-yard gain on the play, bring up 2nd and 8. In fact, have you even seen 36 out there?
I haven't. I was wondering that.
Tegan Lindstedt's their headliner normally. Their coach told me he was starting, and I haven't seen him. I mean, we'll try to look far side to see if he's in street clothes or anything.
I think I might see him 30-something.
We're looking for 36. 33 has been getting all the handoffs. Graydon Lindstedt. He's in there. That's fullback again. Under center is Reale. On 2nd and 8, takes a snap, back to pass this time. Throws deep for Tompkins, and it's incomplete. Tompkins never saw it, really. Bonang was in coverage. Tompkins was actually a little bit free, but never really saw the football, and it'll be incomplete 3rd and 8.
They run a lot of just single routes, only one guy running a route.
Right.
And that gives, like you saw there, it gives Colton a chance to move over towards the route and help out over the top. So If they want to get to this Oxford Hill secondary, they're probably going to have to run some more combination routes.
All right, under center, the quarterback, Mark Reale on third down. Takes a snap, rolls to his right, looking to throw it. And he dumps it off to Graydon Lindstedt, who's got a first down out across the Oxford Hills 30 down to the 29-yard line. So they made that work. Reale was under some pressure, and Graydon Lindstedt out there in the flat was his safety valve, and he got him for a first down. Cheverus moving the football. Yeah, it's funny. I mentioned the coin toss. The captains were out there. However, for Cheverus, only Vic Marone was out there for the coin toss. Tegan Lindstedt wasn't out there for the coin toss either. So that says something. I guess he may not be here at all. In any case, 1st and 10 for Cheverus at the 29-yard line. A little bit of a stumble there from the tailback, but he was able to get the handoff and get out across the 25 down the 24-yard line. It, again, wasn't pretty, but decent yards for Ian Trafford. Down to the Oxford Hills 24.
I see a number 36 jersey hanging up on the fence over there, and it looks like shoulder pads over there too. So
right,
maybe something happened before the game.
Unsure. We'll try to figure out at halftime for you. 7:35 to go in the half. 7-0 Vikings lead. And so yeah, it's been Graydon Lindstedt doing a good job. Reale under center, handoff. Graydon Lindstedt bulldozes his way down to the 20-yard line. Very close to a first down for Cheverus. 7:17 to go in the half.
It's not a first down. They're only inches away.
They have not moved the chains or asked for a measurement even. 3rd and 1. 7:05 to go in the half. Vikings lead by a touchdown, but Cheverus on the move at the Oxford Hills 20. And it's a tailback falling forward inside the 20. Should be enough, but it's actually very close, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Once again, it was Trafford getting the ball.
I don't think they're going to give it to him.
They're going to measure this one. He got like half a yard, so did the running back Ian Trafford. He is a junior. He's normally the tailback, and then Lindstedt the fullback. And then Tompkins will mix in there as like a slot back. And they're going to measure this one. 6:39 remaining in the half. Right now the score is 7-0 in favor of Oxford Hills. Cheverus, though, in Oxford Hills territory here.
Looks like it's going to be short. Oh, no.
Got it.
First down.
Just enough for a first down. So Cheverus gets it just inside the 20 of Oxford Hills, and the Stags have it 1st and 10 now for Mark Reale and this offense. Here we go. Reale under center, I formation on 1st and 10 from the Oxford Hills 20. He'll pitch it for Tompkins. Tompkins trying to navigate to the outside. He'll get a couple yards here. Down to about the 16. About a 4-yard gain. Bring up 2nd and 6. They only gave him about 2 there. 2nd and 8. Cheverus trailing. They have it at the Oxford Hills 18-yard line. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. 7-0 Vikings lead. Reale takes a snap. Handoff, Graydon Lindstedt. He's tripped up there by Cole Dunham, the leading tackler in all of Class A North. Falls forward to the 15, just inside the 15-yard line. It'll be 3rd down, about 5. Cheverus just eating up some clock. You mentioned they can do that with their style of offense.
Love to keep it on the ground, keep the clock moving.
5:20 to go in the half. Vikings lead 7-0. And now we have a whistle. And timeout called by Cheverus. We'll take a quick 30-second break here on Ox Country and as well at mbr.org.
Get your own truck, only at Goodwin Chevrolet.
Welcome back in Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Fourth down attempt coming up for Cheverus, or pardon me, third down attempt coming up for Cheverus, 3rd and 5. Pass near side complete to the big number 12 who rumbles into the end zone. The tight end, Vic Marone from Mark Reale for the touchdown. A pass on the near side on 3rd and 5, and he goes 15 yards for a touchdown. So Marone, who had a touchdown the last time these two teams played, gets one here as well. He had 6 receiving touchdowns during the regular season to lead the Stags in that category, and they connect with Marone here on the near side. He just bullied his way in.
Yeah, when they spread him out and line him up one-on-one against Alex Turner, I mean, that's a pretty hard matchup for him. So, especially when they're just running a quick out route and then getting him in space and just allowing him to run over Alex.
Cam Harris's extra point is no good. It misses wide right. And so the score with 5:07 to go in the first half, Oxford Hill still has a lead, 7-6. We'll take a quick 30-second break here on Ox Country. Video feed, find it at mbr.org.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money. Call Oxford Federal or apply online at oxfordfcu.org or from your mobile device using the free Oxford FCU mobile app.
Aaron Moore's alongside Tasker Winslow. Welcome you back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. On the video side of the ledger, it's the MBR game of the week between Oxford Hills and Cheverus. On the radio side of things, it's the CMCC Hammond Lumber game of the week. This is the Class A North Regional semifinal. The score right now, Oxford Hills 7, Cheverus 6. The kickoff is very short, fielded by one of the upbacks for the Vikings, who falls forward out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. That was a pretty nice job that time by Cade Truman, because that was a little bit trickery from Cheverus. However, the Vikings will have very good field position out of that one. So Cheverus misses the extra point after they got a 15-yard touchdown reception from Vic Marone. And that's the difference right now. Oxford Hills 7, Cheverus 6, 5:02 to go. First half, pardon me. We're in the second quarter here.
I think they're going to let Colton throw the ball around here a little bit, see if he can get hot.
4 wide receivers, LaFrance in the backfield. Lutska goes in motion. They'll run it with Colton Carson, and he'll lose a yard. I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage that time. Good job by the Cheverus defense. They were all over it. First man there looked like was Sebastian Merrill, freshman defensive end. Cheverus not afraid to play freshmen. They have a bunch on their varsity roster.
Oxford Hills are not even allowed to play varsity as a freshman.
Just a school policy.
Yep.
Trying to develop them. So Carson facing a 2nd down and 10. Lost maybe half a yard. Will run it. Trying to get to the far side. He does. To midfield. 45, 40, 35. One man to beat 30. 25. They catch him from behind at the 20-yard line. But a huge run by Colton Carson and a first down deep into Cheverus territory. Touchdown saving tackle by Caleb Carter.
He never looks like he's moving that fast. until you know, when he's running up the sideline and you realize that he's covering a lot of ground in those big steps.
He got into open field, and then it was off to the races for Colton Carson along the far side. 1st and 10, Oxford Hills from the Cheverus 21-yard line. LaFrance in the backfield. Behind Carson, who's in the gun. 3 wide receivers on 1st and 10. They put a man in motion. That's Lutska. Check that, it was Bonang. Carson to run it, far side. Carson into the end zone. Touchdown, Oxford Hills. He takes it 20 yards to the house. They put Bonang in motion, then Carson ran right where Bonang was coming from, and then ran it down the far side and high-stepped his way into the end zone for 6. That was easy for Colton Carson. Vikings lead 13-6, 3:50 to go. And now Lutska on for the extra point. Here's the snap. The kick is up. And the kick is good. So with 3:50 to go in the half, the score, Oxford Hills 14, Cheverus 6. We'll take a quick 30-second break here on MBR at 96.9 Ox Country.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, Athletic Apparel Consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. Welcome you back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. The score in our MBR game of the week, Oxford Hills 14, Cheverus 6, 3:50 to go first half. Class A North Regional semifinals. We're in the playoffs as Lutska boots it away. Fielded at the 20 and fumbled by the Stags. The Vikings have about 4 guys who were near it, but I don't think any of them got it, as somehow the return man was able to fall on that one. It looked like either number 32, Marshall Fowler, or one of his teammates was able to recover that football, but he did get clobbered in his attempt to return it. And Cheverus somehow able to fall on it. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Now this is kind of reminding me of when they played in the regular season. Cheverus is down a score, but towards the end of the half, Oxford Hills is getting momentum. Cheverus is making some mental mistakes. It's pretty much the same thing that we saw during the regular season.
1st and 10 for the Stags from their own 24. Reale under center. And Reale rolls to his right, throws it over the middle. It's tipped and intercepted by the Vikings. Picked off and returned down to the 20-yard line by Cole Dunham.
Wow, right place, right time. I don't think he even saw the ball when he caught it.
It fell right into the breadbasket. Cole Dunham said thank you very much and then returned it down to the 20-yard line. Vikings, big play, turning the Stags over.
The ball hit him in the chest, and he was just like, wow, there's a ball here.
Look what I found.
Yeah,
1st and 10, Oxford Hills from the Cheverus 20 after the interception by Dunham. And that is Dunham's first interception of the season. 4 wide receivers for Colton Carson on 1st down. That is Lutska in motion. And Carson to run it. Why not? Worked before, trying to run to the near side. Spun around by his jersey. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. Battles forward. He lost a yard, but what an effort by Colton Carson. He refused to get dragged down and turned what would have been a loss of 5 into about a loss of 1 because he was able to battle back.
He's having some problems with his shirt that just got tugged on.
Yeah, the Cheverus player was trying to drag him down by his jersey.
I don't know how he didn't get finished off when he was spinning around in circles trying to get away from that. But usually when you get stood up like that, it's better to just go down because somebody's going to fly in and take your head off.
Lost about 2, so 2nd and 12. LaFrance in the backfield with them. 3 wide receivers for Carson trying to take advantage of the interception by Dunham. Lutska goes in motion. They'll fake it to him, and Carson to run it near side. Carson to the 20, to the 15, still on his feet, falls forward down to the 10-yard line and close to a 1st down. Another great run by Colton Carson.
whenever he gets, dropped for a loss, it seems like the next play he comes back with a big play of his own.
He's 4th in Class A North in rushing yards, but he's 1st among quarterbacks in that category.
Of course, assumed by a pretty wide margin.
Leighton Girardin was behind him by more than 100 yards.
Yeah.
So, LaFrance in the backfield. Carson 3rd and very short here from about the 10. Parker LaFrance up the middle, and he'll have the first down. Just some tough running from Parker LaFrance inside the 10 down to about the 7. So goes Parker LaFrance.
They haven't been using him as much as they did a couple weeks ago against Portland and before that.
This game they've been really trying to get Carson in space.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of what you got to do in high school football, get your best athlete in space.
Carson has a rushing touchdown already, his 17th of the season. So is Emerson Brown. Brown, the man in the backfield now. 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Lutzka in motion. And Carson will keep it. Carson far side. Carson trying to go through the defender. He does. Orium tried to drag him down, but Colton Carson would have none of it. Touchdown, Oxford Hills. 7-yard run for Carson, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. And they go up 20-6 with 1:24 to go in the first half. Extra point coming up for Yannick Lutzka. Just a really well-designed play because he and Lutzka were running basically hand in hand for a while. A little bit of low snap. Lutzka's extra point is good. No problem for Yannick. 1:24 to go in the half. Oxford Hills 21, Cheverus 6. Back in 30 seconds on MBR and Ox Country.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
Welcome you back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 Ox Country, and it's our video Game of the Week on MBR. It's 21-6 Oxford Hills with 1:24 to go in the first half here in the Class A North semifinal, as Luke's going to boot it away after Carson has the 2nd rushing touchdown of the game, fielded at the 11-yard line, taken out to the 25, navigating. Ooh, he ran to his own blocker out across 25 to the 27-yard line. Did the return man, that is Orion Giebord for Cheverus on the return. All right, 1st and 10 Stags. They trail by 2 touchdowns now, 21-6, with 1:16 to go in the half. Big time by the Vikings to turn that interception into points.
Definitely. They had to take advantage of that mistake.
Cole Dunham got the pick. The junior leading tackler in all of Class A North, his 1st interception of the season.
Probably one of the luckiest interceptions I've ever seen. He didn't have to put much effort into that one.
Reale in the gun. Rarity for Cheverus. Takes a snap, rolls to his left, throws a little wide. Nice catch. Really great catch by Orium. Good tackle by Turner. Orium reached out with one hand and brought it in out across the 35-yard line. They'll spot it at the 36.
That was a great catch and a great tackle.
Yeah, Turner came in and hit him pretty hard. But Orium reached out and grabbed it. 2nd down and short, but 48 seconds left and the clock moving here in the first half. Reale now under center. And they'll hand it off to the fullback, and there's nowhere to go for Graydon Lindstedt that time. Great pursuit by the Viking defense. Will stop him short, and a whistle and a timeout. Cheverus has one more to spare, I believe, and they're going to use it. So it's going to be 32 seconds remaining in the half. 21-6, Oxford Hills on top, and Cheverus wants to talk it over. We'll take a quick 30-second break here on 96.9 Ox Country. Video feed at mbr.org.
Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a coffee shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz.
Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. Welcome you back into Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Late in the first half, the score is 21-6 in favor of Oxford Hills here in the Class A North semifinal. Again, the winner plays Portland. That's scheduled for next Friday, Fitzpatrick Stadium. The winner of that game plays for the state title, and they would play Thornton or Scarborough. So 3 of the final 4 are set. Thornton, Scarborough, Portland, traditional powerhouses to say the least. Oxford Hills trying to join them here. Vikings lead by 15 with 32 seconds left in the first half. 3rd down and short for Cheverus in their own territory. Reality to throw it far side. He completes it to Tompkins. Tompkins to the 45 and does get out of bounds to move the chains with 26.1 seconds to go in the half. Cheverus has it 1st and 10 at their own 46. But again, they're out of timeouts at this point. He did get out of bounds to stop the clock.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Coach Danforth put in an extra defensive back. He loved to do that. Last year he'd bring Dawson Stevens in and take Jordan Silver or one of the other linebackers out in these types of situations. But
reality in the shock on that is going to be a false start on Tompkins. The wide receiver Tompkins got a head start there, and that'll move him back 5 yards. That one you can see a mile away.
Yeah.
He was running before the snap. So a false start will move Cheverus back with only 26.1 seconds left. In the first half of action. Emerson Brown, 5-yard touchdown run. Colton Carson has a touchdown run as well. That's how Oxford Hills has, Colton Carson has 2 touchdown runs.
Yeah.
The Vikings have 21 points. 2 touchdown runs for Colton Carson, 1 touchdown run for Emerson Brown. Vic Marone has a touchdown reception for Cheverus. That's the scoring in this one so far. So under center now. On 1st down, the handoff to Tompkins on some misdirection. Tompkins to midfield, bounces off a tackler, still on his feet, down to the 45, lost the football. It fell forward, but the Vikings do recover it. Parker LaFrance fell on it. Oxford Hills football.
Looked like he ripped it out, too.
Parker LaFrance, big-time playmaker. 15.4 seconds left in the half, 21-6 Vikings.
Think they'll take a shot here? What do you think?
You're the analyst. You tell me what you think. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, it's the playoffs. You don't want to risk, like, throwing an interception or something. I mean, Carson's very good, but.
Let's see. We can tell by how quick the huddle is.
Very quick.
Yeah. He'll probably just take a knee here.
They do spread it out, though.
Oh, maybe not.
4 wide, strips to the right.
They might take a shot here.
They'll throw one up. Worcester's out there. He's a big target. 15 seconds left. They have it 1st and 10, their own 43. They will take a shot. They'll dump it off. LaFrance out of the backfield. A defender fell over. LaFrance to the 45. LaFrance to the 40. And he's wrapped up, still fighting inside the 40 down to the 38. There's 4.4 seconds left and a whistle. And Mark Soren was very quick saying, I want a timeout the minute he is stopped with his forward progress. They'll have 1 play here. They're in Cheverus territory, inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line with 4.4 seconds to go. Already up 21-6. All 3, it's funny, Cheverus known for their running. They're 1 touchdown to the air. Right. Vikings known for their passing this season, although they can run it. Also, all 3 touchdowns are on the ground for Oxford Hills. But again, Carson has 18 rushing touchdowns now this season, so he certainly will run the ball a lot. But this team, they throw it way more than they used to, that's for sure.
A lot more than even when I was there.
Yeah.
And we had Colton then, so.
Well, he's definitely coming to his own as a senior this season.
Definitely.
After getting his feet wet last year in his first year starting as a junior.
I tell people, I think, honestly, he could go D1 with whichever sport he chooses. Honestly, between football, basketball, and baseball, I think he could go D1 with all of them.
He's got it now, 1st and 10 at the Cheverus 37. One play at the end of this first half to see if they can get some more points, up by 15. Carson with trips to the right, takes a snap, back to pass, has time. Oh, a check down got tipped and incomplete. LaFrance, just in case, fell on it. And
they should have time for one more.
Should have stopped the clock unless the clock ran out before the ball hit the ground. They say it did.
It hit the ground, and I looked up, and there was still like 0.5 seconds, but hey.
In the end, that's the end of the first half. Vikings behind 2 Colton Carson touchdown runs and Emerson Brown one as well. Have a 21-6 lead over Cheverus at halftime. We'll take a break, be back with a short halftime report. Halftime brought to you by Oxford Federal Credit Union. This is the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 Ox Country. Video feed at mbr.org.
So the athlete is usually either sent over from their athletic trainer, from their primary care physician, or sometimes from the school directly. My goal is always to get these kids in within 24 hours from the time of their injury. There are a few reasons why they would need to go to the ER that after, if they had an injury at a game, which the athletic trainer usually takes care of. But most of the time these kids are fine enough to wait until the next day, just rest that night, and then we'll see them the next morning. So the first visit is like any other office visit we'll have. We'll have them come in, fill out the paperwork about their injury, their concussion, and kind of go through their symptoms, and then we'll do an exam, which is pretty thorough regarding their balance, their range of motion of their neck, as well as looking at their cranial nerves, any dysfunction that we can find. A lot of times it's more the, just look at the athlete and you can see the concussion almost in their eyes. A lot of times there's not a whole lot else on exam that we can find, and that's good. If you see focally, a focal neurologic defect, that's where we're getting a little more concerned. Some of these kids will recover. Can take weeks and months to fully resolve. Most importantly, once again, is the physical exam and just talking to the patient. In terms of scans, it's rare that you need to do any scans, especially a CT scan. Those are more reserved for if somebody had a prolonged consciousness or they're having worsening symptoms, focal neurologic defect. As long as they don't have those, we rarely don't do any imaging because there's not much you're going to see. Concussion is an injury, microscopic injury to the brain. It's not something that you can see on a normal imaging study. When you're doing a CT scan, you're looking more, there's a bleed, which is complicating the picture. The only test that we do run is, there is the impact test, which is one of the cognitive testing tools that are out there to help determine, for me, more return to play. It's not a tool that helps to necessarily, I don't use it to diagnose a concussion. It helps me to really determine if the brain has recovered and are they ready to get back to more to their sporting level. So really an adjunct rather than the tool. Usually if it's going on 2 weeks, we don't recommend going to PT in those first 2 weeks. We just try to get them better because majority of people will improve in that amount of time. If they're still having symptoms after a couple of weeks, then we'll discuss maybe getting into some rehab to see if we can hasten their recovery. That being said, when we work with professional athletes, a lot of times they are trying to get right in, they need to get back, so we are getting them into rehab sometimes right away to try to hasten their recovery as well. So the follow-up for me for concussions, once again, depends on their symptoms. After our initial visit, we'll really discuss our plan for the short term and any restrictions for school and sports. I usually have the parents contact me, usually within about a week, to let me know how the student's responding. And if they have resolution of symptoms, there's no reason to follow up. If they're still having symptoms, then I will usually discuss once again my thoughts for the next week. And if they're just not responding over a couple of weeks, that's when I usually start seeing them back. Or if I have an athlete who's been having symptoms for weeks and weeks on end, that really needs kind of a closer follow-up. We'll follow up with them quite regularly with their physical therapy to make sure that they're progressing in the right direction.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money. Call Oxford Federal or apply online at oxfordfcu.org or from your mobile device using the free Oxford FCU mobile app.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morris alongside Tasker Winslow. Halftime sponsor is our good friends over at Oxford Federal Credit Union. And this is the CMCC and Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. Video feed at MBR.org on the radio on 96.9 FM Ox Country. It's 21-6 Oxford Hills over Cheverus at halftime here in the Class A North semifinals. The winner plays Portland. And so, you know, the players obviously can't be looking ahead to Portland yet. Obviously, they got, 24 more minutes of football left to be played here to try to close out Cheverus. But, Tasker, if Oxford Hills does end up squaring off with Portland, I mean, we saw this game earlier this year. It's just a matter of somehow getting off the field, basically, on third downs, isn't it, against that Portland team?
Yeah, definitely. And the past few years, they beat us in the first round my junior year, and then second round my junior year, first round my senior year. So if they can, win this game and then go beat Portland, not only would they go to the state game for the first time since 1999, but also just beating Portland in the playoffs, that'll be a huge accomplishment as well. Yeah, you look at these two teams. Cheverus won the state title fairly recently, 2011, so it's been about 7 years for them. But Oxford Hills has never won a state football title, and last time they made an appearance in the title game was 1999. So it's certainly been a long time coming for Oxford Hills, and so far so good against the Cheverus team, 21-6. And the thing about Cheverus is they're going to have to start trying to take some risks, right? Because, I mean, they're down by 2 scores. Right, and they're just keeping the ball in the ground, running up the middle. They haven't thrown it around that much. When they have, it's been short outs and little crossing stuff over the middle. Nothing. They haven't really taken any deep shots. So they might have to, in the second half, down by 2 scores. And the Vikings have been able to take advantage of the mistake Cheverus did make. They threw an interception. It was tipped, and then it fell into the hands of Cole Dunham, and then Colton Carson was able to run it in for one of his 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. Emerson Brown has one as well for Oxford Hills. So it's been very impressive performance so far from the Vikings. Everything we probably expected, up by 2 scores here at halftime. We'll take another break. Come back in a bit with your second half kickoff. Again, the score at the half, Oxford Hills 21, Cheverus 6. The winner plays Portland in the regional final next week. CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 Ox Country. Video feed at mbr.org.
Ever had that sinking feeling that your auto loan payment isn't as low as it could be? Worry no more. Oxford Federal Credit Union can work with you to refinance your loan to see if we can save you money. Our process is easy and our loans offer flexible repayment options. Don't keep wondering if you can save money.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Ortho Access is an orthopedic walk-in clinic, and it's the only one in the state of Maine. It's designed to sort of meet patients where they are, so meet our patients and our community's needs.
I bring the patients in and I'll do the initial triage, kind of get their history of what happened, determine what body part hurts, and figure out what medications they're on, kind of their background information. Once I get that information, I'll talk with the provider and determine whether they need imaging.
I'll go in the room, examine the patient, we'll review the x-rays together, and then decide if the patient needs blood work or further imaging like an MRI, which is easy because we have MRI right here. It's very convenient for people. Or any splinting, casting, we do that all right here as well. So people tend to be pretty happy with sort of everything in one place.
We'll see fractures, so we see plenty of broken bones, and it's a lot of extremities, so a lot of foot, ankle, and wrist injuries. We see plenty of people who are coming in because they're worried that they have something big or they have a broken bone, and so they're sort of for reassurance a lot of times that they don't.
The ton of athletes of the field, a lot of the local athletic trainers are really good about sending their patients right here instead of sending to emergency, saving them weight, which is nice. They can kind of get everything all at once. They can x-rays, they can get a basic cast if need it instead of to go to multiple different locations.
The youngest patient I've seen, I think, is probably 18 months. And then I think I've seen a 99-year-old in Ortho Access. So you can imagine they're coming in with really different problems. Might be a slip on the ice. We've seen a ton of that recently. Or it might be they were at a trampoline park, twisted their ankle, or it might be a football injury where they fell and twisted their knee. We cut out the middleman, so to speak, so they could get right into OA x-rays if they need that, and either get the treatment that they need right off the bat or kind of high-level triage and get them to the next best provider who really should see them.
So usually we are the busiest right when we open, and then later on in the day it usually slows down a bit and the wait time is significantly less. We've had people start at the ER and they have left because they're so frustrated and come here and are in and out within an hour, which is...
It does feel good. You should say, wow, this is great. This is a lot better than sitting in the waiting room in an emergency room where usually there's a ton of orthopedic issues that come in and most of them are not going to be urgent. So they're going, naturally they're going to be waiting a longer period. So yeah, it does feel good.
When you're hurt at work, at home, or on the field, you may think you only have two choices.
Visit the ER or wait weeks for an appointment with a specialist.
But who has time to wait? We know you don't.
We get it. It used to be hard to get in here, but things have changed.
We know that when you're in pain, you want to see the right doctor right away.
Our patients are busier than ever, so we've made it easier to get quick access to specialized orthopedic care.
We now have 2 ways for you to be seen by one of our orthopedic specialists on your time: spine access and ortho access.
If you've got back or neck pain, call us at 1-855-96-SPINE to schedule an appointment with Spine Access. You'll see one of our orthopedic spine specialists within 24 hours.
And Ortho Access is now open in Portland and Auburn for walk-in orthopedic care for recent injuries, pain, sprains, and strains.
So whether you suffered a fracture on the field or experiencing new sudden onset back pain, we'll see you now.
Welcome back into Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow, about ready to get the third quarter started. This is the MBR game of the week. And, of course, we're also on 96.9 Ox Country for our CMCC Hammond Lumber game of the week. Oxford Hills and Cheverus. Class A North semifinals. The winner plays Portland at Portland. Scheduled for this upcoming Friday night. Should be very interesting. Right now, Oxford Hills has a 21-6 lead at the half, and they'll kick off to start the second half in about a minute and 30 seconds. And so, Tasker, what are some things you're looking to see from the Vikings in the second half of action against Cheverus to try to close this one out?
Honestly, I don't see much that I would want to change. I think they can keep doing exactly what they're doing, and it's been working, and I think they can use that same strategy to put this game away.
Colton Carson, 2 rushing touchdowns, giving him 18 now on the season. Some really tough running. Cheverus they put some pressure on him at times. He's been able to fight through that, and he just seems to be the fastest and the strongest guy out there, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I would change is maybe towards the end of this, give him a break just a little bit. He's been doing just about everything for this Oxford Hills team.
Maybe give the ball a little bit more to Parker LaFrance.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I said earlier that we haven't really seen much of Parker carrying the ball.
So we'll see if LaFrance gets some more work in the second half. Emerson Brown, welcome him back. He's been out most of the year with an injury, but he has a rushing touchdown in this game as well for Oxford Hills. Now, Cheverus will get the ball first. This will be key for the Vikings. They opted to take the ball to start the game. They actually did not score on their opening drive, but they would force a punt and then score on the next drive. So Cheverus will get a chance to go down the field and try to make it a one-score game to start this second half, and so it'll be a big opening sequence certainly for this Oxford Hills defense, which continues to really impress this season. In the last few games, they held Wyndham to 7 points. That was they shut them out. The third string defense gave that touchdown. So Wyndham only had 7. Portland only had 17. That's not a lot for Portland. Bonnie Eagle put up 22, but they held Cheverus to 14 before that. They shut out Bangor. They held Edward Little earlier in the year to only 13. Edward Little, pretty explosive offense at times, and they shut out Lewison to start the season. So a couple of shutouts right there on the resume for the Oxford Hills defense this season, and they've held Cheverus to only 6 points so far in this game.
I'd like to do the math and see how much they outscored opponents overall so far this year.
Yeah,
I'll have to do that next commercial break.
It was quite a bit. Obviously, they did lose a couple games, but they lost to Portland by only a field goal. Sanford actually had the biggest win over the Vikings by 14 points. Sanford, however, lost today in their regional semifinal to Thornton Academy, which has been kind of a juggernaut this season in the South. So a trio of Cheverus players back deep to return this kick from Oxford Hills as we're about ready to get the third quarter underway on this Saturday night football game. The game got moved to Saturday 6 o'clock kick to deal with some weather we've had in the area. However, it's been pretty mild here tonight. Chilly in the stands, I'm sure, but we're fairly comfortable here in the broadcast booth, even with the windows open. So Lutzka to kick it off. Third quarter about to get underway here at the Gouin Athletic Complex. And the kick by Lutzka is fielded just shy of the 20-yard line. Take it out 25 to the 30. And that's where Cheverus will start their first drive of the third quarter of action. Return once again by Giebord, Orion Giebord, the freshman, on the return out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. 11:54 to go, third quarter underway, 21-6, Vikings lead. Big opening drive for Chevrolet to try to set an offensive tone here. Reale under center. Takes a snap, and the run by the back doesn't go anywhere, really. Dunham right there on the stop. Tompkins, not much room. By the way, halftime talk to some Chevrolet folks. Tegan Lindstedt, their leading rusher on the season, their fullback, and by the way, their leading tackler on defense as well. Concussion, not even allowed to travel. That's why he is not playing today. So we've seen a lot of Graydon Lindstedt instead. So that's tough for Chevrolet to miss basically their best player on both sides of the ball, or at least possibly their most important.
It's definitely a huge loss for them, no doubt.
Reale in shotgun throws far side, complete to Tompkins, and he is tackled immediately shy of the 45-yard line. Bonang was in the area, and he'll bring up third down and about 6 yards to go.
They love to throw that out route, get it to their athletes in space.
So Chevrolet's facing an early third down. He was tackled just shy of the 35, the 34-yard line. They have to get to the 41 to move the chains here. Reale's been fairly accurate in this game. He had that one ball that got tipped and intercepted, but he's hit his guys typically in stride when they do throw it.
Hasn't had to make very hard throws.
Right.
Though.
Takes a snap out of shotgun. It's a high snap. It falls to the ground. The ball's still on the ground. Reale picks it up, but he's going to be dropped back inside the 25. A high snap, and Reale just could not field it cleanly. And it's fourth down for the Stags. Not the opening drive they wanted here in the third quarter. It'll be Viking football after this punt. 10-10 to go. Michael Bonang is back deep. 10-10 remaining here in the third quarter. Tompkins handles the punting for Chevrolet. Sean Tompkins, a junior, who's been contained today. He's a fairly explosive player. He can catch it and run it himself. Takes a snap and boots it away. Bonang will charge up and let it bounce at the 46-yard line, and it dies right there. Down by Oriam. So good field position for Oxford Hills. 1st and 10 at their own 46-yard line. Already up 21-6. 9:42 remaining third quarter. Colton Carson and the offense back to work. He has 2 rushing touchdowns already. Parker LaFrance to his right in the backfield. 3 wide receivers on 1st and 10. Puts Lutzka in motion. Handoff LaFrance up the middle, midfield to the 45 of Chevrolet. Just as you wanted, some Parker LaFrance with the run of 8 yards.
I needed me some Parker LaFrance.
2nd and 2 from the 45 coming up for Oxford Hills. Now Emerson Brown will check in. He has a touchdown run today. Does Brown. A 5-yard plunge on their second drive of the contest. Turner and Pruitt out there. 3 wide receivers for Oxford Hills. Brown to the right of Carson in the backfield. The sweep to Yannick Lutzka. He's got some space to the 40, to the 35, and tackled there. Catching him was big number 72, Sean Sullivan. But Yannick Lutzka, another successful jet sweep and a first down for Oxford Hills.
I love that when he gets the ball on that, he's not looking to get to the edge all the time. He's looking to make one cut and go.
8:55 remaining, third quarter of action, clock moving. Vikings have it 1st and 10 at the Chevrolet 32. Lutzka in the slot again, 3 wide receivers. LaFrance to the right of Carson in the backfield on 1st and 10. Lutzka goes in motion. They fake the handoff. Carson to run it off. Left tackle has some space. He's to the 25. He's to the 20. Far sideline 15 and driven out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Big run once again from Colton Carson. First down deep into Chevrolet territory for Oxford Hills. Once he has that hole to run through, it's Very, very difficult to bring him down in the open field.
And the wide receivers do such a good job blocking downfield. They never give up on their blocks, and that allows Colton to, easily beat that last defender.
They can still pick up another first down. They're just shy of the 10-yard line. LaFrance to his right. Lutzka in motion. It's LaFrance this time up the gut and smashes his way forward for a couple. Inside the 10, down to about the 7. Pretty solid run there on first down. Brings up second down and about 6 for Oxford Hills. 7:51 remaining, third quarter. Vikings up 21-6 and looking to add to that lead right here. 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 6. LaFrance to the right of Carson in the backfield. Carson takes a snap. Fakes the handoff to Lutzka. Carson to run it off right tackle this time, and Carson navigates his way inside the 5-yard line down to the 4. It'll be 3rd and short.
I think he pulled that at the last possible second because Yannick Lucia got popped right as he pulled it. That's a little sketchy thing as a quarterback is, if the running back gets hit right as you're about to pull it, that can cause a lot of problems with that exchange.
Carson ended up keeping it. Lutzka will check out for this play. Bonang is back in the slot to the left. LaFrance in the backfield, 3rd down and short. About 3 yards to go for the Vikings. Carson will option pitch it to Parker LaFrance. Far side, touchdown, Vikings. Really well-designed option play by Oxford Hills. And they now lead 27-6 with 6:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. Parker LaFrance on the option pitch from Colton Carson takes it in for his first rushing touchdown of the evening. That's his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. Lutzka on for the extra point. The kick is up, and the kick is good. With 6:51 to go in the 3rd, Vikings 28, Stags 6. This is the CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 Ox Country. Video feed at mbr.org.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team.
Aaron Morris, Tasker Winslow with you live from the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. This is the MBR Video Game of the Week and our CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on the radio side of things on 96.9 Ox Country. Class A North semifinal. Vikings 28, Cheverus 6. 6:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. Lutzka kicks it off. It's a high kick to the 25-yard line. Fielded again by the freshman who's out across now. The 35, still on his feet. Tackle just shy of the 40-yard line. Orion. Guiboard again with a decent return here for the Stags. 1st and 10, Cheverus from the 38-yard line.
Looked like Atticus Soren was in on that tackle.
And on special teams work, the backup quarterback for the Vikings. Son of head coach Mark Soren, the Class A North Coach of the Year this season. Oxford Hills getting a 1st-round bye, I think possibly for the first time in a long time, I would say.
Definitely.
I don't know how the format was back in the day, but 1st-round bye, certainly 1st time this decade. Under center now, handoff. They'll run it up the gut, and Grayton Lindstedt, who's getting way more work because Tegan Lindstedt didn't even make the trip because of concussion, gets it out to the 45-yard line. Does the fullback, Grayton Lindstedt, sophomore. I've caught assuming people are related before. I imagine he's Tegan's younger brother, but Lindstedt seems like a name that would not be that common. 6-yard run to play, 2nd and 4. Reale hands it off up the gut. Nice run by Grayton Lindstedt inside the 45, down to the 42-yard line, and a 1st down for the Stags. So Lindstedt, this was effective for them in the 1st half at times, just running him, the fullback, up the gut. It's one of their traditional plays they run out of this offense. Smash mouth football between the tackles. First and 10, Chevers at the Oxford Hills 42. The Vikings have a commanding lead right now, though, 28-6. With 6 minutes to go, third quarter of action. Reale under center on first and 10. Back to pass, throws far side. Ball got tipped that time. Good defensive play. Yannick Luchka almost picked that one off. Incomplete, second and 10 coming up.
Yeah, it went right through his hands. Not much you can do about that, though, when you turn around, the ball's right there.
Yeah, it stuck his hands up in the air. Got a piece of it incomplete.
Just noticed there haven't been many penalties in this game. It's been pretty clean for both sides.
Yeah, we haven't had any holding calls.
Right, which is with the big runs
Right.
that we've seen, that's huge.
We've seen a couple false starts, but that's about it. All right, 5:51 to go, third quarter. Oxford Hills up 28-6. Second and 10 for Chevers from the Oxford Hills 42-yard line. This time running off left tackle, Lindstedt wrapped up by number 32 in green, Cade Truman on the stop. Inside the 40 down to the 39. .533 and counting to go in the third quarter, 28-6 in favor of Oxford Hills. Chevrolet has it now, third down and 7. In Viking territory, a rare shotgun. Reale is in it right now. Takes a snap, throws, got it through some hands to Tompkins, right at the first down marker. Tackled right away. A couple of Vikings almost tipped that, but somehow he threaded the needle and Sean Tompkins made the catch, and that's a first down. Just got it to the 32-yard line for Sean Tompkins. So Chevrolet's moving the ball better than they have in the last couple drives. 5:08 to go in the third quarter. Vikings up 28-6. Again in shotgun is Reale. Takes a snap, back to pass, throws near side, incomplete. Pressured that time applied by the Vikings.
Yeah, I was just about to say, they've got the tight end line up one-on-one with Alex Turner again, so I expected them to throw back at him, which they did.
J.J. Worcester and Travis May were providing the pressure that time. 4:56 to go, third quarter, second and 10 after the incompletion for Chevrolet from the Oxford Hills 32 here. Again, the score 28-6, Vikings. They have 4 rushing touchdowns today. 2 from Colton Carson, 1 from Parker LaFrance, and 1 from Emerson Brown. Under center again is Reale. Quick hitter up the gut. It's Lindstedt still on his feet to the 15. Lindstedt stiff arming the defender to the 10, and he's finally tackled just shy of the 5-yard line. Graydon Lindstedt. His best run of the game, first and goal, Stags. Well, I'll tell you what, he's only a sophomore, so Sheriff is not.
Yeah, they're happy about him being around.
They're not going to be too worried with the graduation of Tegan Lindstedt the way Graydon's playing in this playoff game as a sophomore. Although, in the moment, they obviously miss having Tegan, but it's encouraging for them they have a sophomore who's producing like this. 4:30 to go, third quarter, 28-6 in favor of Oxford Hills, but it's first and goal Chevrolet from the 6-yard line. Reale under center, and now you have a whistle. Tompkins is a tailback this time, and Chevrolet calls timeout.
And they don't have a problem using some timeouts early. If they're not comfortable with a defense they see or they don't know exactly what's going on, they'll call it.
So we'll take a quick 30-second break here on Ox Country. Video feed at mbr.org.
Life doesn't pause when you're in pain. We understand that you want to keep up. Don't stay sidelined from making some of life's best memories. Visit the orthopedic specialists at Spectrum Healthcare Partners. We're here to keep you out there.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. 4:15 to go, third quarter of action. Vikings lead 28-6, but Chevers has it first and goal at the Oxford Hills 6-yard line. Reale under center. And they'll run it with, I believe, Lindstedt again. There's a massive body there. It is Lindstedt, and he gets a yard. Be second and goal. Second and goal from the 5-yard line for the Stags.
I'd say this is where Oxford Hills defense is at its best. Close down to the goal line when you don't really have much room. It's most likely going to be runs, and that's when they come real aggressive and can make some big stops and some big plays.
Trafford and Lindstedt are the backs. Handoff Lindstedt up the gut. LaFrance met him along with a couple other Vikings, and he is shy of the end zone, down about the 2. It'll be third and goal. So, clock moving, 3:23 remaining third quarter. Vikings up 28-6. And Chevres will have a third and goal from the 2. Trafford and Tompkins, or pardon me, Lindstedt and Tompkins. Lindstedt gets the pitch, and he is denied. Lutsko on the pursuit, along with big number 56, David Dingley. Bunch of Vikings were in on that one. And Lindstedt is down at the 5-yard line, fourth and goal.
Wouldn't be surprised to see them split out the tight end again and have him run a quick out route. But if they do that, I'd love to see a safety or, Parker LaFrance or Colton Carson come over and help out with coverage.
2:25 remaining third quarter, 28-6. Vikings lead, fourth and goal. Must convert here for Chevres. Reale will look to pass. Rolls to his left, now throws for the end zone. Jump ball, intercepted. It's picked off by Colton Carson. And it'll be a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 Oxford Hills. If your video feed froze there on the celebration, I think you caught the pick, though, by Colton Carson on the video side of things. We're good. Nicely done by Colton Carson. Leaping grab there in the end zone for the interception.
Smart play to catch that, too, because normally on a 4th down situation on a pass, you don't want to catch it. But when you're in the end zone, much better to get it at the 20 than the 5.
That's the 5th interception of the season for Colton Carson on defense. 1st and 10 Oxford Hills from their own 20, up 28-6, 2:11 to go, third quarter. 4 wide receivers for Carson on 1st and 10. LaFrance in the backfield with them. Takes the snap, back to pass, looking near side. Now he'll look to run, he's in trouble, and he gets away from one defender, somehow still on his feet, somehow still gets to the defense, fighting forward. He's sacked in the end, but...
Wow, what an effort,
It took the entire Chevres team tracking him down before he got sacked.
He may have lost 5 yards, but the fans still love it.
Initial pressure that time from Gavin Callahan, and Tim O'Brien, I think, was in on the stop, but it was a number of guys who tried to get at him. In the end, it is a loss of 5, 2nd and 15, Oxford Hills.
It's weird because it doesn't really look like he's moving that much. People just fly by him and miss him.
Yeah, 1:35 remaining here in the third quarter. Vikings up by 22 points. Carson puts a man in motion, and they'll run it. And that time, though, it was trouble. Lutska had nowhere to run and nowhere to hide from a pair of Chevres defenders. On that stop was number 2, Anthony Pacitti. He was one of them, at least. And that'll bring up 3rd and long. Another loss in that play. Pacitti is sophomore. This is a pretty young Chevres team. They have a couple seniors who are impact players, particularly Vic Marone, who had the touchdown catch, and, of course, Deegan Lindstedt, who has a concussion and is not playing today. But it's a young team in general. Their quarterback's a junior. And Pacitti is a sophomore who made that stop. Carson to throw it. He's got Turner on the slant. Turner 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 to midfield. Turner down the near sideline 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. He's to the 5. He is in. Touchdown. Alex Turner for Oxford Hills. 81 yards.
Wow. came under on that slant route and just found space.
His,
that was amazing.
His 4th receiving touchdown of the season. On 3rd and long, a simple slant route, and he took it to the house.
He had one on a hitch and go, a beautiful hitch and go. Last time they played them, went for, I think, 60 yards or more.
Lutzka on for the extra point. He booms it through. Got quite the leg. 27.4 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Oxford Hills 35, Cheverus 6. Quick 30-second break here on Ox Country. Video feed MBR.org.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team.
Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. Welcome you back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. That really got the crowd buzzing. Alex Turner, a catch and run of 81 yards for a touchdown to put the Vikings up now 35-6 with 27.4 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Oxford Hills really making a statement in this game. I mean, it's Oxford Hills, it's Portland, and it's not close in the rest of the Class A North this year. This kickoff is a bouncer at the 19-yard line where it's fielded and then taken out to about the 25 by Marshall Fowler, a freshman, and he stopped right there. So it'll be 1st and 10 Vikings from the 1st and 10 for Cheverus from the 26-yard line.
One thing I love about this Oxford Hills team is they take pride in special teams. They, have good kickoff coverage. They have good kick returns. They fair catch punts. They don't let them roll. They never miss extra points.
Lutzka's been brilliant at extra points, and that can make the difference in the game sometimes.
And a lot of it has to do with these younger kids, the sophomores and juniors that don't play as much, and they get these opportunities on special teams, and they take advantage because they want to be a part of this, and they want to get as much time on the field as they can.
Reale under center on 1st and 10, takes a snap. They'll hand it off, and there's not much room this time for the back. It was Lindstedt on the carry, and then a bunch of guys were in on the stop. I think Cole Dunham was the first man there, but I know Marcus Stone was there also. And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. At the end of 3, the Vikings starting to run away with this one. They lead 35-6. Back in a minute here on Ox Country. Video feed MBR.org.
When you're hurt at work, at home, or on the field, you may think you only have 2 choices.
Visit the ER or wait weeks for an appointment with a specialist.
But who has time to wait? We know you don't.
We get it. It used to be hard to get in here, but things have changed.
We know that when you're in pain, you want to see the right doctor right away.
Our patients are busier than ever, so we've made it easier to get quick access to specialized orthopedic care.
We now have 2 ways for you to be seen by one of our orthopedic specialists on your time: spine access and ortho access.
If you've got back or neck pain, call us at 1-855-96-SPINE to schedule an appointment with Spine Access. You'll see one of our orthopedic spine specialists within 24 hours.
And Ortho Access is now open in Portland and Auburn for walk-in orthopedic care for recent injuries, pain, sprains, and strains.
Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. Welcome you back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. 4th quarter video stream is brought to you by Maine Athletic Fundraising. Find them at MaineAthleticFundraising.com and start raising the funds you need for your team today. It's Oxford Hills 35, Cheverus 6 as we begin the 4th quarter of action. And the winner plays Portland on November 9th. That's a Friday at Fitzpatrick Stadium for the right to play in the state title game. Right now, Oxford Hills doing some damage. 2nd down, and it's going to be a pass play. The throw by Reale is incomplete. Good coverage by Bonang, intended for Orium, but Michael Bonang was all over it, and that'll bring up 3rd down. That was their longest attempt, I think, in terms of like throwing it down the field today.
Yeah. We're probably going to see a lot more of that now.
Yeah, their passes have generally been short, safer routes, although 2 interceptions in this contest. one in the end zone by Colton Carson and one by Cole Dunham that set up a touchdown for Oxford Hills. So 11:53 to go in the game, 35-6 Vikings lead. Cheverus has it now 3rd and 9 from their own 26. Reale in the gun, takes a snap, throws left, incomplete. A little miscommunication that time. His receiver was flying down the field. Vic Marone was looking to run a go route all the way to the house, and the throw was well behind him and incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. 11:50 remaining in this one. Vikings lead 35-6. Colton Carson now has a touchdown pass to go along with his 2 touchdown runs, and it's a big one, an 81-yard touchdown reception by Alex Turner.
So is that 19 on the year or 20 for Colton?
Oh my goodness, this punt is just a disaster. There's a flag on the play, and I don't know what the flag is, but the ball drops at the 25-yard line of Cheverus. Tompkins was having all sorts of trouble with it. In terms of passing touchdowns or total?
Total.
Oh, okay. All right, hold on. He's got 9 passing now and 18 rushing, so.
Okay, so what are they trying to say here?
Well, there's a flag on the play. That might be because they hit Tompkins as he was trying to kick it, which might be the issue.
They might wave it off here. They should at least. Because first of all, there's barely any contact, and but he played it really well.
I believe it's 27 total touchdowns for Carson now. 18 plus 9.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a bad call.
So
the refs,
they ruled they roughed Tompkins on a punt attempt.
You know that when the ball
or a pass attempt, or I don't know what it was.
The ball hits the ground and then they pick it up, they become a runner.
Right. He was. They were saying he was still trying to punt it, which he did. He ended up punting the ball straight up in the air. So it's 1st down Cheverus, and here goes Lindstedt. Lindstedt to midfield, now 45, tackle at the 44-yard line, and a 1st down for Cheverus. Parker LaFrance on the tackle, but Graydon Lindstedt has a 1st down. So the roughing the punter call gives Cheverus new life on the drive after the punt was not a good one. There was a bad snap, and it kind of created a bunch of chaos. There's an injured Stag down on the field, and so we have an officials timeout right now with 11:29 to go in the game. Vikings up 35-6. So in pretty decent control right now of this contest. We'll take a quick 30-second break for the injury and come back with the rest of this contest in a moment on 96.9 Ox Country.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Oxford Hills here in the 4th quarter are leading 35-6. And Cheverus football here. They have it 1st and 10 at the Viking 43-yard line. Reale will roll to his right, look to throw it. Now he'll pull it down and try to run, being pursued. Cuts back against the grain and is dropped. J.J. Worcester got a piece of him. And he ended up just crumpling to the ground and dropped for maybe a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 coming up. Clock will keep ticking down with 10:51 to go, 35-6 in favor of Oxford Hills.
And when you get that chance as a defender, you want to make sure that the quarterback doesn't want to run the ball again. Make sure he doesn't want to pull it down.
Right.
Which he looked a little towards the end of that when he just fell down to the ground. Looked like he was.
He knew there wasn't much room to go.
Right.
Wanted to avoid a big hit. Reale under center takes a snap. They'll give it off to the tailback this time, trying to stretch the field, and Parker LaFrance says, no, you will not, Ian Trafford. He brings Trafford down in the backfield for a loss. LaFrance all over it for the Vikings.
Whole left side of the line jumped quite a bit early on that too, so they should have had the advantage with the blocking, but guess not. Parker didn't care.
LaFrance brings him down back at about the 46-yard line. 9:55 remaining in this one. Vikings in command, 35-6. And it's going to be 3rd and long for the Stags. Reale under center. Takes a snap. Look to pass. Drops back in the pocket. Throws far side. Incomplete.
Well, they probably have to go for it here.
Yeah. In the general direction of Colt Dumond, a wide receiver. 4th down coming up.
Maybe they will punt it away.
Yeah, they
end with a new punter.
Cam Harris. I think Tompkins might have been the injured player earlier. That's possible.
Oh.
Harris, who's their place kicker, will punt it. So this could be interesting. Harris fumbles it briefly, now hits a line drive, and it could have been worse. Inside the 25 down to the 24 where it's down, so not a bad job by Harris, considering he's not the punter normally. 1st and 10 coming up for Oxford Hills with 9:28 remaining in this one, and the Vikings up 35-6. Last time it was 42-14. Vikings trying to drive the field and get to 42 in this one. Colton Carson will have Emerson Brown with them in the backfield to start this drive at 1st and 10 from their own 25. 3 wide receivers. Puts Lutzka in motion. It's Brown up the middle, and Brown dropped for a loss, maybe. 2nd down coming up. Now Bonang will come in for Lutzka. 2nd and 11 for Oxford Hills. Your last drive was 3rd and long and simple slant route, and Alex Turner took it to the house. Just outran everyone. Turner on the far side here. 3 wide receivers on 2nd down and 11. Bonang in motion. And they will give it to Bonang on the sweep. Bonang gets a block. Bonang stiff arms the defender. Bonang to the 30, out across the 30, and finally tackled at the 32-yard line. Nice little run, though, by Michael Bonang before he was chased down by Akira Orium. Ball spotted now at the 32-yard line of the Vikings. They need about 2 yards here. 3rd and 2 with 8:20 remaining in the game. Vikings up 35-6. Turner, the receiver on the far side. 3 wides here. Carson in the gun on 3rd and 2. Puts a man in motion, and they'll run it up the gut now. Cut out near side. Emerson Brown for a 1st down to the 40-yard line. So Brown with a nice run off left tackle. He started up the middle and then cut to the outside on the near side of the field here, and he gets out across the 38 to the 39-yard line for a 1st down.
We're starting to see some 2nd and maybe 3rd string players coming in on the offensive
Yeah,
side.
that time they had Tyler Blond in the slot receiver role going in motion.
Which we will be hearing a lot of his name, I think, in the near future.
Tyler Blond is a sophomore. And obviously, there'll be some guys graduating this season who have been key contributors. LeBlanc goes in motion. They run up the middle. Emerson Brown again. And Brown emerges from the chaos out across midfield. And he's tackled at the Cheverus 46-yard line. That was amazing. He was in this crowd of bodies, and then he just kept going. And he gets a 1st down to the 46. 1st and 10, Oxford Hills. 7:18 to go in the game. Pruitt checks in for Addison Brown, who was in on that one. I've asked you a million times. They're not related?
Not related.
Not related. Addison and Emerson. 4 wide receivers for Colton Carson. Emerson Brown backfield here. Takes a snap. Emerson up the middle to the 30-yard line. Goes Emerson Brown before he's spun down by Vic Marone.
I think they're trying to get Emerson's stats up since he's been out for a couple weeks.
Get him comfortable, get him going.
Right, yeah.
Missed a few games. 6:40 remaining, 35-6 Vikings in command.
They just want to run this clock out.
Trips to the right here, 4 wide receivers on 2nd down and 4 from the Chevrers 40. Colton Carson takes the snap, back to pass, under pressure, and this time he will be sacked, wrapped up by the Stags. That was, we'll try to get a number on him, give him credit for his sack. Big number 64.
Giovanni.
Yeah, Giovanni Fernaro, sophomore. His 3rd sack of the season. Initial pressure was provided by Gavin Callahan.
I was reading it
the other
last name, first name, because that's how the Oxford Hills roster
right. Yeah, slightly different. So a sack there for Fernaro as Bonin goes in motion, and Carson fakes the handoff. Will look to throw over the middle, deep down the middle for Worcester. He overthrows him. Worcester was covered on the play by Colt Dumond.
There's a bag on the field.
And now a plastic bag starts flying around and is snagged by a Chevrers player. So it'll be 4th down, and the Vikings will punt with 5:32 to go in this one. And Oxford Hills
wind is picking up.
Up 35-6. Wind picking up a little bit. Yannick Lutska, who hasn't had to punt that much this season, on to punt here. I believe this is his 2nd punt of the game. 2 men back deep for Chevrers. And Lutska takes the snap and boots it away. Line drive kick. And really good punt this time. Inside the 5, it goes out of bounds. Just a terrific punt by Yannick Lutska, and his celebration of match. He's fired up.
I love that. I don't think that was on film because the camera was pointed down where the ball went out.
Yeah, he was celebrating. He's
Oh,
still
yeah.
celebrating.
Had a nice little game.
Number 24, Yannick Lutska. Terrific punt, pinning Chevrers
He
back
has-
inside their own 5-yard line.
He has a lot of those punts.
Yeah,
He
certainly.
has- I mean, he's great at getting it down inside the 10 and the 5.
5:22 to go, and it's all Vikings here tonight. They are up 35-6. Under center, taking the snap is Reale, and they run it right up the gut, and don't have much room that time. That was Guiford on the carry, and Guibord, pardon me, and he had nowhere to go. Inside 5 minutes, almost. 5:05 left, clock moving down. 35-6 Vikings. Colton Carson, 3 more touchdowns today. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. Emerson Brown has a touchdown run, so does Parker LaFrance. So pretty evenly distributed. Alex Turner, of course, the reception for 81 yards and a touchdown for Oxford Hills. Reale takes a snap and will look to run it right side. Reale brought down about the 10-yard line. So it's safe to say the Vikings are going to be playing Portland in a week, less than a week. That game scheduled for Friday night, November 9th. Portland, Oxford Hills, the right to play in the state title game.
Yeah, hopefully they play their last 2 games at Fitzpatrick Stadium.
Right.
This season.
Yeah, that would be the goal for the Vikings. And, of course, Portland, a tough opponent. Portland won here. Time of possession was, of course, key in that game. But if you beat Portland, you have a either the defending state champs or the undefeated Thornton Academy waiting for you.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting as this run is taken out to the 15-yard line for Chevrers as the clock keeps ticking. 3:45 remaining. That's enough for a first down, though. Move the chains for the Stags. Reale under center here. Junior quarterback. Looking for the play call right now. And now he'll run over to the sideline. So a little bit of confusion here for Cheverus.
I don't think they're going to have enough time.
I think there's a play clock that probably comes into factor here. The run back.
He's counting already.
Yeah, unlike in like college football venues, there's no play clock that anyone can see. The rest have to keep it on the field. And now Cheverus will call timeout.
Have you seen the little wrist things that they use to do it?
No.
It's pretty cool. It's just actually last year when we played Cheverus, I was talking to the ref during a timeout or in between snaps or something, and I asked him what it was on his wrist, and he told me that was the play clock, and it's just like 3 buttons, and it just beeps to them so that they know when.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So they have an audio cue.
Yep.
3:12 to go in the game. A timeout called. We'll be back in 30 seconds here on Ox Country. Video feed MBR.org.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, athletic apparel consultant, at 207-8...
Aaron Morse alongside Tasker Winslow. Welcome you back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. 3:12 remaining in this one. Cheverus trails 35-6. They have it 1st and 10 deep in their own territory, and they try to run it up the middle. And there just isn't any room for Lindstedt that time. Marcus Stone, first man there for Oxford Hills. Speaking of players who will be big in the future, I think the sophomore Stone, very impressive this year.
Definitely. Lots of raw talent. He's a strong, fast. Once he gets that experience up, he'll be a great player.
2:42 to go. 2nd and 11 now after a loss of 1 on that run for Cheverus. 35-6 Vikings. Reale. Handoff to the fullback, and up the middle goes the freshman for a couple. Guibord has been getting some minutes here. 2:15 to go. Vikings up 35-6. And what a showdown it's going to be next weekend, next Friday at Fitzpatrick Stadium.
Rematch. Be a good one.
Portland, Oxford Hills. Those two teams during the regular season, Portland won it by a field goal. 17-14 right here at the Gwinnett Athletic Complex. That was on October 12th, so it'll be less than a month from that game and then they square off again. Here's the pass on the near side. It is caught by Orium. He's to the 40, 45, and out of bounds right around midfield. Akira Orium, senior receiver, with a nice catch and run and a first down for Cheverus right to the 50-yard line.
That's all right. 35-6, minute 38 to go. I'm sure. See, Mikey, usually he'd play that right. He'd get the arm behind in case they caught it.
He was going for a big play.
Yeah, he was just. It's either a pick six or he's going to catch it.
Right.
Pretty much.
1st and 10, Cheverus from midfield with a minute 38 to go in this one. Vikings up 35-6. Convincing start to this playoffs for Oxford Hills. As here's a deep ball, and it's going to be incomplete. Almost caught by Orium. Pruitt on the coverage, and Reale got clobbered when he threw that ball.
It's kind of funny as a defensive back. There's plays where you break on a ball and you think to yourself for a split second, well, this is going for 6 points either way. We'll see, and you just do it.
Yeah.
You don't have any other choice. You gotta just jump in there and try to make a play. And most of the time on passing plays in high school, there's a good chance it could go for 6 either way. So.
Minute 32 left in this one. 35-6. Oxford Hills in command. At midfield, 2nd and 10 for Reale and Cheverus. Fullback handoff. The freshman up the middle to the 40, and Weaver tackled at the 39-yard line. Moves the chains for Cheverus with a minute 24 to go. First and 10 for the Stags at the 39 of Oxford Hills. As the clock will tick down right now, a minute 14 left. Vikings up 35-6. As they really flex their muscles in this game. Back to pass Reality, and this time Reality's pass incomplete, intended for Orium on the far side of the field, but was wide of the mark. And so the clock stopped with a minute 1 to go in the game. Cheverus had a good year. They only lost twice during the regular season, but it was clear from those losses they just weren't at the same level as Portland, as Oxford Hills.
Right.
And that has shown up again here today. It's basically Portland and Oxford Hills are far and away the best teams in the North, and they will meet in a week.
It's kind of similar with the South, where you have TA and Scarborough, and then you have Bonnie Eagle.
Right.
It's kind of like with Portland, Oxford Hills, and then Cheverus.
Orium on the completion on the far side, and he's stacked up at the 30-yard line. Shy of the first down, I believe. See, the clock stopped, a timeout called by Cheverus with 52.4 seconds to go in the game. How about a quick 30-second break here on Ox Country and MBR.org.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum.
Welcome back into Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Aaron Morris alongside Tasker Winslow. 52.4 seconds to go in our CMCC Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 96.9 Ox Country video feed at MBR.org. Oxford Hills 35, Cheverus 6 here in the Class A North Regional semifinal. Oxford Hills has a date with Portland after this final 52.4 seconds run off. As Reality, fullback dive up the middle, Weeboard. Nice run for a first down and then some inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line for the freshman fullback. 44.2 seconds to go after that first down run for the Stags. 35-6, they're trying to get a second touchdown here. Their lone touchdown today, Vic Marone, a touchdown reception.
15 yards, I believe.
15-yard strike. Handoff again, Guibord up the middle, and he's stacked up, that time by J.J. Worcester. Inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 23 seconds to go in this one. And I don't think they're going to have time. Maybe one more play before this one wraps up. 10 seconds to go, 35-6 Vikings. Final play of the game. Reality back to pass. He'll throw it deep for the end zone. Jump ball, and is incomplete. Intended for Orium. He got up there, Bonang on the coverage, but Orium could not reel it in. And they actually will have 2.6 seconds to go.
Hit him right in the stomach. That was a great throw, and he had a chance for it. But
Akira Orium had a shot, and now they will get one more play because it was incomplete. I wasn't thinking of that possibility. So they will get one more play here. Third down.
Assume they'll take a shot to the end zone.
Yeah.
Why not? That's gotta be weird being the losing team scoring at the buzzer.
I remember that happened in an NFL game this year, and I think one of the Seahawks players, they had the game lost, and they had scored a touchdown, and they spiked it. It was like, okay, come on. All right, here's the throw near side, incomplete, and that's your ball game. Oxford Hills is headed to the regional final. They will play to go to the state championship game for the first time since 1999, and only Portland now stands in their way. Vikings win it 35-6 over Cheverus. We will take a break, come back, and wrap things up here on 96.9 Ox Country video feed, MBR.org.
Ortho Access is an orthopedic walk-in clinic, and it's the only one in the state of Maine. It's designed to sort of meet patients where they are, so meet our patients and our community's needs.
I bring the patients in and I'll do the initial triage, kind of get their history of what happened, determine what body part hurts, figure out what medications they're on, kind of their background information. Once I get that information, I'll talk with the provider and determine whether they need imaging.
I'll go in the room, examine the patient, we'll review the x-rays together, and then decide if the patient needs blood work or further imaging like an MRI, which is easy because we have MRI right here. It's very convenient for people. Or any splinting, casting, we do that all right here as well. So people tend to be pretty happy with sort of everything in one place.
We'll see fractures, so we see plenty of broken bones, and it's a lot of extremities, so a lot of foot, ankle, and wrist injuries. We see plenty of people who are coming in because they're worried that they have something big or they have a broken bone. And so we're here sort of for reassurance a lot of times that they don't.
We see tons of athletes right off of the field. A lot of the local athletic trainers are really good about sending their patients right here instead of sending them to the emergency room, saving them a wait, which is nice. And they can kind of get everything all at once. They can get their x-rays, they can get a brace or a cast if they need it, instead of having to go to multiple different locations.
So the youngest patient I've seen, I think, is probably 18 months. And then I think I've seen a 99-year-old in ortho access. So you can imagine they're coming in with really different problems. Might be a slip on the ice. We've seen a ton of that recently. Or it might be they were at the trampoline park, twisted their ankle, or it might be a football injury where they fell and twisted their knee. We cut out the middleman, so to speak. So they could get right into OA, get x-rays if they need that, and either get the treatment that they need right off the bat or kind of high-level triage and get them to the next best provider who really should see them.
So usually we are the busiest right when we open, and then later on in the day it usually slows down a bit and the wait time is significantly less. We've had people start at the ER and they have left because they're so frustrated and come here and are in and out within an hour, which is nice.
It does feel good. I mean, patients say, "Wow, this is great. This is a lot better than sitting in the waiting room in an emergency room where usually there's a ton of orthopedic issues that come into ERs, and most of them are not going to be urgent. So they're going, naturally they're going to be waiting a longer period. So yeah, it does feel good."
Welcome back into the Spectrum Healthcare Partners broadcast booth. Your final score tonight from the Gouin Athletic Complex: Oxford Hills beats Cheverus 35-6 this evening. And Colton Carson, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. Parker LaFrance had a rushing touchdown. Emerson Brown had a rushing touchdown. For Cheverus, Vic Marone had a receiving touchdown. Vikings never trailed in this game. They went up 7-0. Cheverus did strike back. They scored a touchdown, made it 7-6. They missed the extra point. At the time, I thought it might be big. It ended up not mattering because Cheverus did not score again. And Oxford Hills rolled to victory 35-6. Tasker, your final thoughts on this game and what's going to be key to the Vikings trying to go into Fitzpatrick Stadium next week to beat Portland?
Well, I think they played a really complete game tonight. It was actually kind of mimicked their game against Cheverus during the regular season. And I think
it's a giant wasp in our booth.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah. I think one key to next week is time of possession. You got to have the ball. Portland loves to run the clock down, so do it a little bit yourself. Keep the ball, hold on to it, be a little bit more conservative to run down the clock, and take advantage of their mistakes and try not to make any mistakes.
Yep, there you go. Vikings win this one 35-6. And next week, Friday night, assuming they don't reschedule anything, Friday night, Oxford Hills, Portland. The winner will play the winner of Thornton and Scarborough for the state championship, and we'll have that covered for you. Thanks to Alex back in studio running the board at our Ox Country Studios. Thanks to Tyler on site running the camera. He's Tasker Winslow. My name's Aaron Moore. Signing off, Vikings are headed to the regional final. Have a good night.